Welcome to Goodbye I'm Chris King.
Alexander Void.
Today we're having Film Rundown episode 17. We're going to run down the biggest film topics of the week, and we're going to give you our analysis and our speculation as to what they can all mean and stuff. So let's get right into it. Deadpool. There's a lot of Deadpool news that came out this week, particularly on yesterday, April 1st, being that it was April Fool's and anything like that. We like a day before that, we had Ryan tweet out that Deadpool image of him like laying down and stuff next to the fireplace. And then just yesterday, there was like a new kind of interview. You want to tell us about the interview?
Yeah, that interview is actually really funny. It's funny because he calls him Slater, and that's what I know him as. What's his real name?
Mario Lopez.
That's what I said. Okay, so Mario Lopez interviewing Ryan Reynolds talking about Deadpool being PG-13. And he's so happy that Ryan Reynolds chooses that, or the studio chooses for it to be family friendly. And it's just a hilarious little back and forth, and you kind of feel like, wow, really? It's like, what would you call this family friendly? And then it kind of seems fishy because Mario Lopez is actually being a little pushy. He's like, oh, so good. And then you see Deadpool walk behind him. I'm like, yes. And I guess he grabs a printer. I don't know what that
it was like
giant
a
thing
chair
was.
or something like that.
It was a big rectangle, and then just kills Mario Lopez. And it's funny because he even called him Slater. Like, it's just a nice callback. It's so Deadpool. Like, that was perfect for Deadpool. I really like that. I thought that was really cool.
It was awesome, yeah. Then when he shows like the little drawing that he has that says the release date, I love how he goes, don't worry, Jesse, Slater can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah.
Just so awesome. It's just, that is Deadpool. That is very, very Deadpool and stuff. So the biggest thing here, Deadpool is going to be rated R.
Yes.
At least that's what they're letting us know now.
Well, also, a question I have is that when we saw the image, and then now we saw him in the background, I can't tell if that's CG or is that actually the suit. Like, it looks like a suit. I want to believe it's a suit, but we see realistic suits all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if we're to believe that Ryan Reynolds really was in Vancouver, because that's where he's supposed to be shooting the movie, it's possible that he came down for like a week or something, but it could be someone else in the suit.
Yeah, well, this is obviously planned. It was planned, I don't know for how long. We all know what we want from Deadpool, so it's really easy to plan ahead.
Yeah, and I'm not one of the people who were very like, it has to be rated R, it has to be rated R. That's obviously the preferred kind of a thing, but I mean, more importantly is this movie gonna be good? Because I mean, the game, I think the game was rated T, I'm not really sure, but that game could have been rated M.
No, it was rated M.
It was rated M? Okay, yeah, so maybe it was rated M. It wasn't good at all. It was still garbage, and it got that M rating, which most superhero games and stuff don't get. So it's good that they're following that kind of true to the lore of Deadpool. But again, is that going to make a good movie? No, it's just going to allow them to do whatever they had planned in the way they wanted to, portray and stuff. So yeah. So what do you think about the rated R rating?
Also same thing. I didn't care about it. Like I kept thinking, how are they going to make this movie without having rated M? But that tech footage, what do they call it?
Footage, yeah.
Test footage. I want to call it tech demo. That test footage, it wasn't rated R. It was PG-13 because it didn't have blood, and I guess because they are CG characters.
Yeah, it's all
like
CG.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
But he had a decapitated head and he was holding it. Like it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will say that it's interesting that now that they're kind of breaking this kind of glass of the PG-13 superhero stuff. Maybe at some point, we can get a rated R movie from the big guys from Warner Brothers, or probably not Marvel. But again, I mean, the thing to know here is, at least to wrap it up, just the most violent characters in this comic universe is probably more like Wolverine and Punisher. And if those guys didn't get rated R before, their new movies had better be pushing rated R and stuff.
Wasn't Punisher Warzone rated R?
I believe so, but that was kind of like a home to DVD or something. Wasn't it?
It was like straight to DVD. I never saw it.
Yeah, so those guys, Ghost Rider can be incredibly violent as well and stuff. So we'll see. I wouldn't mind getting like a rated R Batman at some point. Probably won't happen, but
Definitely Family would be rated R.
That'd be sick. Yeah, or a Joker movie standalone. That would have to be rated R. So
also
Red Hood.
There was somebody else. Who I was thinking could go rated R. That would work. Whatever. I lost it now. I'll bring it up sometime.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. The next news in the week was Transformers. This news has not been picked up very much, which I'm kind of surprised because maybe because people are just so sick of this franchise, but Transformers. Recent reports have just kind of been revealed that Universal has commissioned several screenwriters to start writing spin-off movies for Transformers, so that they can start, releasing their Transformers big movies and then release spin-offs kind of in between, kind of like what Star Wars is doing, what Disney is doing with Star Wars. So we don't have too many details on it, but what do you think just as far as these spin-off movies, shared universe?
I am so tired of this. I am so tired of everyone trying to do this whole big thing. It's just Marvel's not the first people to do it.
No.
Okay, they're not the first people to do it, but this is how it got popular. But ever since then, everyone's trying to do this, and I guess that's what's bugging me. Like, even TV shows are having their spin-off shows,
yeah.
and they work. They're good. Like, I'm watching Better Call Saul, and it stands alone from Breaking Bad, and it's good on its own. It's its own thing, and I like it. But nonetheless, like, Transformers is a big franchise. Like, people really like those films, but they're not good. And that's me saying that. I remember we got a lot of slack on Instagram for that.
Yes, yeah, we did.
For not liking Transformers.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's like, I guess people need that. I guess people need it. I don't know. We already had a shared universe with Fast and Furious 3 and Tokyo Drift.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, if you think about that, it is a shared universe. This
was a very early one.
Yeah, this is where...
Which is the only one that I like, which I know people say is ridiculous, but yeah.
I really liked it.
I like it.
I like Tokyo Drift. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't care about this. The only good thing that could come from it is from what you said.
Beast Wars, yeah.
Yep, Beast Wars. It's just that's it. But even then, I don't want that to be connected to the other one because Optimus Prime is Optimus Prime. There's going to be a lot of Optimus Primes.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the way I see it is, I mean, again, this Transformers franchise is garbage. It's garbage. It's like, I will not hold back. It is like 1 out of 10 quality movies. It's really, really bad. Besides the first one, which I like, which wasn't perfect. It was mediocre, but it was good. Like, I liked it. I was into it. And this is coming from someone who's like a hardcore, from like I wasn't born in the 80s, but an 80s Transformers fan. I had the original toys. I collected the toys. I watched the original animated movies, the animated series and the animated movies. I liked Beast Wars. I liked Dinobots. Most people, like the hardcore, say that they don't, but I like it. Those actually worked for me. Optimus was like a gorilla or something.
Yeah, he was gorilla.
Megatron was a T-Rex. I loved it. Anyway, but again, those two things I just mentioned, I wouldn't mind if they did like, you Transformers 1, 2, 3, 4, and in between you have Dinobots. Then you have Beast Wars. And then for some of these movies, some of these guys can come in and stuff, kind of like what Avengers is doing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I mean, this franchise is just terrible.
Yeah, what's going to end up happening? Like, they're going to go to this other place, the Beast War animal's going to come to Earth and try to help. Like, what's happening?
The only way I see it, kind of working is if they kind of, again, reboot this whole franchise and just set it on Cybertron. I forget where the Beast Wars takes place. You mentioned that. You don't think it was Earth. I don't believe it was Earth either.
Earth.
Or unless it was like a prehistoric Earth, but I don't think so. I think it was like a different planet. So if they set out in space, like, forget Earth, maybe you come back to Earth like in Transformers 7, I don't know. But I would like to see it take place like in Cybertron and all these other kind of planets and galaxies and stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. So yeah, there's that. We'll see what happens with that. Moving on, let's get to a lot of Fox news at this point. Wolverine. Hugh Jackman just posted, I believe it was on Instagram, that image of both his hands with one of them having the three, his claws already out, and it said, "One last ride."
Yeah.
So what do you think? There's a lot of speculation.
I think you're quoting Fast and Furious.
I don't know what it was.
One Last Ride?
I think it was One Last Ride, but I'm not sure. I didn't read it. I just saw the picture. But anyway, what do you think? Is he referencing? From what I've heard, the director has come out and said, no, it's Wolverine 3 that he's talking about. So we know Wolverine 3 is coming. Mm-hmm. But is he going to be an Apocalypse? Is Wolverine 3 going to be his last movie? That kind of stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is actually released on Twitter. It's like Twitter, Instagram.
I don't really care. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that it's cool. It's cool that he's doing this. He did say he wants to play this until he runs out, but he did talk about
until he dies.
Yeah, until he dies. But he did talk about the director also said it that he's taking a toll. A 5-hour workout every single day. Like that's a lot of working out, and I can't even do it for like 30 minutes a day. So it's just like, but I'm not Wolverine.
Easy beast.
Anyways, so I think this is a good idea. I think it's cool. I keep hearing those rumors about Apocalypse. There's no confirmation, and it doesn't even make sense in the timeline. Like, he went back to the old school X-Men world where somehow Scott's alive.
Well, yeah.
How's he going to travel through time again?
Yeah, that's. I mean, well, the thing is that in First Class they found Wolverine, so we know Wolverine exists, and that, well, he's been around since like the 20s. You know, if you look at the comic book time, even the movie time, he was like in the First World War or something.
Yep.
So he's been around like from the 20s, and so anyway, continue.
Yeah, so it's a they already messed up that whole timeline.
Yeah.
Because they did walk up to him and just flipped him off. Which was cool. And then from there, you see in the first movie, the first actual X movie, that's where he truly comes in. So this is like his first time seeing Xavier. At least that's what it looks like. So it's just, it's not like, hey, I remember you. Remember that time we fought an Apocalypse in the 80s? Like, it didn't seem like that at all. In this one, unless he's like somewhere in the backs and he fights Apocalypse by himself, I don't know. See, it just doesn't work. So I can't see him being Apocalypse. Like, it's Brian, right?
Bryan Singer.
Yeah, Bryan Singer actually, he got rid of the old stuff and started bringing in new characters and new everything, and even the old characters are coming back as new people. So he is really just starting this all over.
It's a mess. Yeah, it's like I know people are really happy with Days of Future Past. I was too. I still think First Class was better. But it just, this whole X-Men universe is just so weird. It's just so messy. It's almost too realistic for me because X-Men, they're mutants. They're supposed to be mutants. They're supposed to be wearing their costumes and all that kind of stuff. So my point is that if Hugh Jackman wants to stop, I'm okay with it just because I want a reboot of this whole franchise anyway. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think that's what First Class was. I think First Class was the reboot.
Yeah, I mean, well, the problem is that after Apocalypse, I don't think there's going to be more First Class movies. Unless they do X-Force, you know? But that's not going to see, like, we're not going to have Professor X, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, look, so the next topic is we saw this, concept art or image, whatever it was, from Singer, I think on Twitter as well, of Angel. We saw him, like, in the cage. So people say that might be Sinister as a ringleader, that kind of stuff. Look at some sort of weird kind of circus thing. So my guess is that they're going to go find Angel here, right? They're going to try to recruit him for the first X team.
And again, at this time, Angel wouldn't have been born yet. Yeah. Or he'll be a baby. So again, he's just rebooting this whole thing.
It's kind of weird, yeah. It's twisted, but I mean I like this because at least you have the original lineup. You have Beast, Jean Grey, Cyclops, and you're just missing you have Angel and then Iceman. You're missing Iceman. But like hardcore comics fans, like Snowman, Iceman. Before he actually became all ice, he was like a snowball kind of a guy. That'd be awesome. I hope they cast a younger Iceman. But
then we'll have Beast that's human-ish.
That's the thing. I hate these takes on Beast. They just don't work for me. But so anyway, so there's that. But what do you think about Angel being an Apocalypse?
Don't care. I don't care. I guess it's nice. It's fine. Hope he becomes Archangel.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm holding up for too. Is that as long as he becomes Archangel.
And back to the Wolverine thing. It's like I think it's nice that he's finishing this up. Yeah. I think it's time. He's been Wolverine for a long time. He'll always be Wolverine to this generation.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of hard to cast a new Wolverine.
Yeah, very similar to like Robert Downey and Iron Man. So the last thing about that is, so no Wolverine and Avengers then?
You know what? I believe that will happen eventually.
Oh.
I still believe that. I think that he'll stop that and there's going to be some kind of small deal for those to pop up. But I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I don't even think Infinity Wars or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's going to make them more complicated because they are sometimes in New York and stuff, but there's no mention of the Avengers or the best, so it gets complicated.
There's no Avengers Tower. There's no Oscorp.
There's nothing of that. Yeah, so it's a mess. But so we'll see. I think it's time for them to wrap it up. Anyway, these solo X-Men Wolverine movies are garbage.
Oh yeah,
so bad. Both of them are terrible.
The second one is way better than the first one, but it's still bad.
It's better, but it's like a 1 and then a 2. It's really not that good. But I mean, we are holding out for an Old Man Logan, right? That's kind of what everyone wants.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, but I want it to happen.
Yeah, I think like in 7 years, like if Hugh Jackman is a movie star, right? So it could be like Robert Downey Jr. said, like, yeah, this is it, Iron Man 3, I'm done, and they're gonna bring it back, like with the contract. Here's 2 more movies, So we'll see what happens.
Start working out.
Start working, exactly. Okay, moving on. Let's change it up from a lot of comics for right now. Disney, you know, is just making all these live action movies. We had Cinderella, we had Maleficent, and now we have a whole bunch that's in production. I think like a week ago we talked about Dumbo. Now the new one that they're talking about, Beauty and the Beast is coming up, and the next one is supposed to be Mulan.
Yeah.
So Mulan is kind of set into production already. Rumor is also Winnie the Pooh is set into live action production.
Yeah.
So what do you think about a lot of these more Disney live action?
They're working. People are like, big thing right now is Cinderella. Like, people love Cinderella. And it's cool that they're not really musicals, so they're not trying to take away from the cartoons. Like, cartoons are still there. They still hold up, strangely. Strangely, the animation still holds up and stuff like that. Like, Lion King. Like, rewatching that, it still holds up. It's really weird how these things are truly timeless. So, Mulan. It's kind of a given. I even think that eventually we will get The Princess and the Frog. Like, we'll start getting some stuff like that. For sure, Little Mermaid. When that thing comes out, people are going to flip. And it'll also be really hard because who's going to play Little Mermaid? How's this movie going to do? We better get the best writers. We better get the best directors because if they mess that up, it will be mayhem.
It'll be done.
Yeah, so for the Mulan thing, we kind of saw it coming. I forgot Mulan existed. Hope Eddie Murphy's back.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, honestly, like I was really excited for Dumbo. In a way, I'm kind of so worried about Tim Burton's gonna mess it up in some form. But overall, I like Dumbo. Mulan's another one that out of a lot of these princess movie stuff that I'm not typically fond of, I like Mulan. I like maybe because it's set in like Imperial China and stuff and that whole dynasty thing, and I'm a big fan of the Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I love that era of China, so that movie just worked on every level, even the music, all that kind of stuff. Eddie Murphy, as you mentioned, like perfect. So I mean, I don't know, it'll be weird, I guess, but I'm kind of excited for it. The Winnie the Pooh one scares me. I just scares me. Like I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
They made a Paddington Bear thing, right? Called Paddington.
Yeah.
And then of course we saw Garfield and Smurfs and Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I'm just
gonna be like.
As long as it's not set in real world, I guess. I mean, if you do like a CGI in the 100-acre woods or something, sure, I guess. I don't know. It's getting a little bit out of hand, but I mean, we'll see. I think the next one is gonna be something like Aladdin or something like that.
Oh, nice.
So that could work, I guess. We'll see. So,
yeah, a lot of CGI.
It would, yeah, it would. So we'll see what happens. This next one, you're excited about. It's actually a very exciting topic I didn't hear about until you showed it to me. IMAX is set to debut their new laser projection technology with Furious 7 at the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so this is awesome. It's the first time ever. First time ever here, I think, in the whole United States. They did it in the Chinese Theater, which is always closed down because they're always fixing that thing. Like, they made it better, and I guess this is it. This is what they wanted to do. So the biggest thing that they're focusing on is contrast. So it's just colors, especially now that 3D is like kind of forced into you. Like, you can't watch a movie in IMAX only. You're forced to watch a movie in IMAX 3D, at least here where we are in LA. So now 3D is super, super dark. So this is fixing that problem. I think contrast ratio for this is 3 times of a regular and 2 times of an IMAX. So this is huge news. Like, it's going to be super realistic, and I'm going to be completely scared. I don't know how I feel about super realism. Okay, so once they add the Oculus in this world, we're all going to feel the cars hitting us because it's Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that they're releasing it with Furious 7. But new technology is always very exciting, especially with, I like this laser projection because I've always been interested in like projectors, because I've always thought like how cool it would be to play Super Smash Bros. Like on your wall or play a movie like The Dark Knight on your wall. So, but the problem is that those projectors they're pretty crappy. Even like the really expensive ones, they just don't really come out as good unless you have a screen. So maybe this could be the future into, tweaking that home theater kind of a thing. So it sounds expensive though, probably not. But we'll see what happens.
It'll take a while.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully by Batman v Superman, they'll get this up and running. That'll be dope.
Wow, we probably have to start moving everything over there. It's like, let's drive all the way to the Chinese Theater and look for parking in Hollywood.
So we'll see what happens. But speaking of Batman v Superman, the reported trailer is supposed to be in front of Mad Max. I feel like we've said this like 5 times already that we started filming. There's not really much. There's not too much credibility to this rumor. It's just, again, just reports that a lot of these sites are getting and stuff that they're hearing that, you know, the trailer is going to be dropped in front of Mad Max. It's supposed to be a teaser. That's not so much a trailer. But what do you think? What do you think it would be? Do you think it's going to happen?
Okay, so
And you think it should?
Comic-Con thing that, you know, now it stopped being exclusively for the fans, for people who go to Comic-Con. Now it started being, it's like you see it first.
Yeah.
So there are some things that still weren't released or still weren't shown in the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer that was shown at Comic-Con teaser. But nonetheless, like, we saw the gist of it. And I think that's what this is going to be. I think that they don't need to cut it up. They just put it up on the screen, the same small teaser.
Yeah.
I think it'll work because it's another big WB franchise, and they're expecting a lot from this Mad Max. This is a big movie. Everybody keeps talking about it. But isn't it rated R? Mad Max?
Yes, it is.
I think that they'll save it to target everyone. I think that they'll put it before a PG-13 movie. Because it would be really weird for them to put it there and I guess kids or families not hearing it, but I guess families, do they like DC? I don't know how this is going.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that idea. I mean, I guess that, you know, because the DC movies are supposed to be darker and grittier, and that teaser is very dark if you really think about it and stuff. I hope that if they do, it's just like a really high res, like a real version of the Comic-Con one that we saw. It's probably pulled down by now, and if you guys haven't seen it by then, probably won't be able to see it now. But what we saw was like that, you know, just Batman turning on the spotlight and then Superman being there. So because I don't want to see anything new right now, unless it's just like Bruce Wayne coming out of his car, and then you see the back of Lex Luthor's head. Like, unless it's something like that, very short, fine. But I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to see anything on this movie. But we're gonna be like 10 months away when that one comes out. So
it's still too early.
It's
still too early. Like, I get it. Start getting the ball rolling. But I think even though they're not necessarily competing, I think they should wait till after Age of Ultron. I think that. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean that's obviously what they're gonna try to do because everyone's gonna be talking about Age of Ultron. By the way, I just remembered Ant-Man. It's right after Age of Ultron. Like, that movie's getting no love.
Nobody cares about that.
No love. That's really sad. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. I will say that as far as like getting the ball rolling and stuff, I feel like keep your trailers away. Stop showing us images. You're showing us too much. I'm surprised that they're not marketing more as far as like merchandise. Like, I feel like this is the kind of movie where I still think one of the best marketing moves ever was with Twilight, with like New Moon, was when Hot Topic was flooding the store with like all those like Team Jacob and Team.
Oh yes.
What the hell is his name? Team Jacob and let's say Patterson.
Sparkle.
Edward, like, or Colin. I don't know. I think it's Team Edward, right? Team Edward and Team Jacob. I'm surprised that they're not doing that already. Like in Hot Topic, like here's all your Batman shirts on one side and Batman jackets. And the other one's all Superman. Like, they should be doing that now.
Yeah.
Now is the time to do that because people should be wearing those around, getting people excited. Like, Batman v Superman is coming.
There's actually a really cool shirt, Hulkbuster versus the Hulk.
Oh,
and it looked like an old school boxing match.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, for movies like when Civil War is coming out next year and when, you know, Batman v Superman, like, these stuff should be out there.
Stark.
Exactly, exactly. So, I'm surprised that's not already going out. There should be official shirts for that already, so... I mean, I don't know. Whoever's your marketing guy needs to be fired, I guess, something like that. So, we'll see. Moving on. Hugh Jackman is actually set to join Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who are going to produce this movie called Apostle Paul.
Yeah.
So now, like, we don't have too much of the description, but basically, if you ever read the Bible, Apostle Paul, he was once this man named Saul from Tarsus. And so it's just a journey of, you know, Saul becoming... who, like, he persecuted Christians, and then he gets converted into, you know, Christianity, or not Christianity, but converted into belief, and he becomes the Apostle Paul. So it's a really dark story, really dark, really, you know, all this kind of stuff. But what do you think about Hugh Jackman joining it, and Ben Affleck, Matt Damon again, kind of producing them together?
So this is Better Call Saul, becoming Paul. Okay, so I have hope for this. Like, they've been making these movies for a while. what was it, Exodus?
Yeah.
Just came out. Well, not just came out, but Exodus came out. They had
Noah.
Noah. So these movies, obviously, they actually spend their money on this. They actually have a grand spectacle. And this one, the team behind this actually seems pretty legit.
Yeah.
Like, they seem like they actually care about it because, sadly, not to be rude, but Ridley Scott has lost his fire. Like,
Yes.
it's been a while since he's made a good movie, so I didn't really even have hope for, what was it, both of those, right? Wait, who made... No. He made Noah. Yeah.
No, and he did Exodus.
No, I guess that he made Exodus, because somebody else...
Oh, no,
made
I'm sorry.
Noah.
He made Exodus, but he wants to make more. Like, he wants to make David, I think, or something.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, but somebody made Noah, and he was also well-known. He's a well-known director. But, again, I didn't care about it. He even stated that it was loosely based.
Yeah.
That stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't see either of them, and I don't want to get into it now, but I'm very well read with the Bible and stuff, so I know these stories back and forwards. The thing is that, like, whether or not, you believe it or not, the stories themselves, these are people in college today still study the Bible.
Yeah.
When you're learning about prose, when you're learning about poetry, when you're learning about writing, people still study the Bible because those stories are they're perfectly well written. They're everything. So the problem with these other movies is they're so fantastical and they're trying to make it a blockbuster, which I don't think is necessary. Like, keep it as raw and dark as the movies are, and like this, I think this could be a movie where Jackman wins his Oscar. It sounds like, at least knowing how Jackman approaches his roles. We were talking about Wolverine. He's almost a method actor. Like, he gets really into it. And Ben Affleck, Matt Damon producing it. I'm kind of excited for that. Just ever since Good Will Hunting and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
This has a lot of potential.
A lot of potential. Yeah, precisely. Okay, so let's go back to the comic book world. Killer Croc has just reported to be cast in Suicide Squad. I forget the guy's name. It's a very long name, but his name is Adewale. So it's this actor. He was in Thor 2, I believe. I don't remember who he was. Could have been a... Who did they fight in Thor 2? It wasn't the Frost Giants, right? Forget. That movie was very forgettable.
Yeah, the bad guy.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The Dark Elves. They fought the Dark Elves.
Yeah, it was. He was. Eccleston. Is that his name? He was a Doctor Who. He was a Doctor.
Oh, he was a Doctor.
For the reboot, the 2005 reboot. He was the first Doctor for one year. Ninth Doctor, if I remember. But yeah, so I guess it wasn't him.
I'm not sure.
But the movie was completely forgettable. Didn't care about it. As for this, I think it's very interesting because Killer Croc is not realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting into this realistic world, it's interesting. It's interesting that they're gonna take this route. It's cool that Killer Croc's not gonna make any jokes, but other than that, I think it's cool.
Yeah,
It's a giant.
I always said before, right? Before the Suicide Squad cast got revealed, like, they should have had someone really big like Killer Croc, or I forget the robot's name, but there's like this really big robot as well, or Bane, or someone big like a thug. So I don't know if he's going to be in Suicide Squad. I think he's gonna be like one of the inmates at Arkham. But again, this opens the door for, like you said, the supernatural, Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy. Like, now all these are possible that you're adding someone like Killer Croc, who technically is a human, but obviously it's not very human-like, right? So it'll be interesting as long as the makeup and stuff kind of works. I don't want it to be like pure CGI, like that kind of find a middle ground. But yeah. So that's a really interesting Killer Croc to be in there. And then last topic for today is Tom Hardy signing on for 3 more Mad Max movies. You just reviewed this to me. Really, really excited for it. We just talked about Mad Max a little bit earlier. What do you think?
So, someone in this room saw Mad Max already, and I've only heard good things about it. I haven't seen it myself, so it kind of gives it a lot away.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for this. I did like the original. So I'm excited for this. There's nothing I can say about this other than cool. Because I don't understand why the 4 movies again. Yeah. Like, I remember that used to be a thing before, and then we got into trilogies for some reason. They stuck on trilogies, now making 4 movies. But I think it's interesting. They obviously have a lot of content.
Yeah, I hate, like, I don't hate trilogies, but I hate trilogies now because, like you mentioned, for like 15 years, all we have is trilogies. Like, I was really disappointed with movies like Spider-Man, and I wanted to see 4. I feel like with 4... you have about 8 to 10 hours, you have like between 6 to 10 hours of content, and that's really enough to dive in, because that's like almost like a full season of a TV show, right? It's just the right amount to really close up in a whole arc. So really excited to see 4 movies of this. Very similar to Mel Gibson's Mad Max. I think he did like 3 or something, or no, like 5. I'm not really sure.
If I remember, it was 3.
But it could have been 3. So interesting to see that. They always have a lot of confidence. Again, someone we know saw the movie, and all I can say is watch it. Like, it's definitely approved for a watch it. You must watch it. It's definitely really worth it. I'm excited. I hope actually Mel Gibson will come back for one. You know, I think
that'd be nice.
Yeah, not really as a cameo, but maybe as like a villain, or maybe as like a mentor kind of a guy, something like that. I think that'd be kind of dope.
I want him to be a car.
I'll give some voice in the car.
Yes.
So that's all topics for this week, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked everything that we talked about and you want to join the conversation, please do so. Let us know what you're interested in, all these other kind of topics and stuff. And for more of these film news, just say subscribe to Good Bad Deadly.